Download this code and get free GPT-4o from codegive.com, link in the description below. When working with NumPy, you might encounter warnings about deprecated features. These warnings indicate that certain functionalities are outdated and may be removed in future versions. It's important to adapt your code to avoid using deprecated features to ensure long-term compatibility. However, if you're unable to update your code immediately, you might want to suppress these warnings temporarily. #Understanding deprecation warnings. Deprecation warnings in NumPy, and other libraries, are issued to inform developers that a particular feature or API is no longer recommended for use and may be removed in future releases. It's a good practice to update your code base to use the recommended alternatives to maintain compatibility with future versions of the library. Suppressing deprecation warnings. You can suppress deprecation warnings using the built-in warnings module in Python. Below is a step-by-step guide on how to do this, along with code examples. Step 1, import necessary libraries. First, you need to import NumPy and the warnings module. Step 2, suppress warnings. You can use the warnings.filter warnings function to suppress deprecation warnings specifically. The following code snippet demonstrates how to do this. Step 3, use deprecated NumPy API. As an example, let's consider a deprecated NumPy API. For instance, using the np.int type is deprecated in favor of np.int32 or np.int64 depending on your needs. Here's how you would suppress the warning while using the deprecated API. Step 4, re-enable warnings, optional. If you want to re-enable warnings at some point in your code, you can reset the filter. Best practices. 1. Update code. The best approach is always to update your code to use non-deprecated APIs. For instance, replace np.int with np.int32 or np.int64. 2. Document suppression. If you decide to suppress warnings, document it clearly in your code. This helps maintain readability and informs other developers about the decision. 3. Use a context manager. To suppress warnings in a specific block of code, consider using a context manager. Conclusion. While it's sometimes necessary to suppress deprecation warnings in NumPy, the best long-term strategy is to update your code to avoid deprecated features. Use the warnings module to control the visibility of these warnings, and always aim for compatibility with future versions of libraries.